Now, first up, we'll talk about the tour this month. Now, the tour almost got cancelled. I thought it wasn't going to happen, but there's a new touring company that's come on, and they're going to, sort it all out. So, are you excited that it's finally going to happen? Payne is coming to Australia.
Definitely, man. I mean, I think it's the boss, the guy who worked at the last company. He saved the day. He was not the boss, but his boss just fucking disappeared.
Yeah.
And the pre-sale was already going, but the cool thing is like you can't touch the pre-sale money until the show is over, So that was cool. He just split. So we were just standing there, and Buzz, he started calling around to Hard Media and all the other guys, and he saved the day for sure,
Yeah, well, that was
I knew
cool.
this about it. Yeah, I knew about it in January, February, and he said like, I'm going to try to look for other ones, and they can just take over the Ticknet and all these sell stuff, and just keep on booking it and taking the risk and so on,
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to
Yeah.
see Payne, firstly, because I've never seen you guys before, and, I love Hypocrisy and, Bloodbath, all the other stuff you do, but I really have, like, a fondness for industrial metal, like I love Rammstein, and just all that kind of metal that you can kind of dance to a bit. So what would you say a Payne show is like?
I would say it's a lot heavier than what it is on the album. I think it's just because I think we were like more move like a real metal band on stage and stuff like that, and a lot of head spins and a lot of running back and forth. There's a lot of tempo on stage, and we just give everything. One of these days the head is going to separate from the neck and roll out to the crowd.
Yeah. You play all the instruments on the album, but are you going to be playing with a band? Firstly, who have you got playing with you, and do they kind of play the songs a little different from how you play them?
Okay, first. I got my son on drums, and I actually kind of changed the band 2 years ago because the band that I originally had since 2007 started to cracking a little bit. And since I'd never been so active with Payne touring and playing live and stuff, they can't sit around and roll their thumbs, So, I mean, everybody, it was 5 years since the last album, and I guess everybody moved on, and so it was time to put a new band together. And I think this lineup is definitely the best. It's most fun to watch for the crowd, for sure, and the musicians are so well skilled, and doing harmony vocals and stuff, doing the shit that I did on albums. It's really cool, and it's a lot of tempo on stage. Like I said, it's more almost like a death metal band on speed.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I mean, we tried to stick to what's played on the album. And my son played on the last album anyhow, so he knows every hit from the new songs, But he was born into the Payne and Hypocrisy stuff anyhow because of me, so he knows the songs anyhow from the past. So
that's cool. It'd be fun playing with your son as well. It's kind of like a family band to be, good bonding experience and a good metal show.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's he's been with us for a year and a half now since we released the album. And we've done pretty much, I would say, 100 gigs on that album so far, and it's not really over yet, But I think we have like 4 more gigs after the Australian tour. We get some festivals, 4 festivals. Yeah, and then during that time, during the summertime, I'm going to try to complete the Hypocrisy album. Got some songs, but we need to write more, and I need to get Michael more involved again. He hasn't been writing for 9 years, so he's going to be back.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I guess a lot of people will be excited for that because it has been a while since the last Hypocrisy album. Can you tell us, a little bit about kind of what direction the album might go in?
I really don't know. I mean, I'm not. It can still change in the feeling of the whole album, so far. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a mix between old and new Hypocrisy,
Yeah, cool. And you did a project a couple of years ago with Till Lindemann from Ramstar. I really like that album, Skills in Pills. Do you think you guys will ever make a sequel to that album?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we wrote some songs for this theater in Hamburg that they put up Hansel and Gretel, but we did it in a twisted way.
Yeah.
So we wrote some songs. Wrote some songs for that play. So we have a few songs, laying around. So I wouldn't be surprised if something comes out.
Yeah, I think he's doing the Rammstein thing again, but I'm sure once that's over and you're free, then maybe we could expect something.
Could be, definitely. I mean, I'm pretty positive on that. I mean, Rammstein is right now in the studio and finished the new album, so I think the album will be out next year or around Christmas, I think. And then, of course, they need to tour and stuff, so maybe 1.5 years we can start them on one album or something. I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to say. Maybe they will tour the world twice, and then we have to wait 3 years, I don't know. It's really hard to say, but...
I kind of feel like I'm pretty demanding, like, asking this album, but I was just looking on your Wikipedia and, you're probably the busiest guy in music. You produce so many albums, you got a recording studio. Do you get much time to yourself these days?
Yeah, more and more. I mean, I try to be more efficient when I'm in the studio. Instead of sitting there for 8 hours, I can sit there nowadays for 2 hours and still achieve the same thing I would do in 8 hours 10 years ago. So I'm I don't know, studio smart now, because I don't want to wear out the studio somehow. I don't want to be there more than I need to. In the past, I was there like 24/7, but now I just don't want to be tired of it. That's why I only choose to be there for not so long every day, because most of the time you sit and think, instead of being creative. When you're writing at the same time and recording. So it's important not to be there too much.
Yeah. And
only when you have an idea and you spill it out in 2 hours and it's done,
Yeah, you've worked with like pretty much all my favorite bands, like the Modern Mask, Children of Bodom, even stuff like Sabaton, Marduk. Who've been some of the favorite bands you've worked with?
I think all of them, I mean, it's been... when you sit and listen to an album 2 million times before it's done, you get into what you do, So I really like all of the bands that I recorded. I mean, they're all different from each other, but it feels like you've been a part of it,
Cool.
When you sit and work for a month.
Yeah. It says on Wikipedia you're the mayor of Pali and you actually own a village. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and how do you end up owning a village?
No, it sounds bigger than it is,
Okay.
It's an old village that it's outside from the village I was brought up on, and it has a lake and a few houses. There used to be a mental hospital there, so it was like state-owned properties there, and when that finally hit the wall, they sold it, and someone started building apartments out of the hospital and some other working houses that was around and things, and then they started renting it out. And then I moved there and I got a location for my studio at the same place, in the same village.
Yeah.
And then I got interested in buying the property of the studios. I bought that, and then I bought the house that I was renting. And then all of a sudden they said, "Why don't you buy the whole shit?" And so I did. But the village itself is not about all my houses. There's a few other houses on the north side that I didn't buy. That was already bought.
That's cool. So when you're not,
but I sold a lot of houses nowadays. So there's and plus I tear down a lot of houses as well. So I spend a lot of money just to make it nice. Somewhere where you want to die.
Yeah, for sure. And you'd say like when you're not on tour that you prefer like the small town lifestyle. You don't really like living in a city.
No, I'm more like a hillbilly.
Yeah. kind of like me. I was growing up in the country, but I live in the city now. But I can still always go home, and it's good having, not having so many people around.
Yeah, when I'm touring, I'm always in the big cities, so I can see that all day long on tour. When I'm home, I just don't want to have any people around.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
except my family, of course.
Yeah, family and guitars.
Yeah, exactly, in the studio.
So I just asked one more question because I know you've got a few more interviews coming up. Just, what are the big plans for 2018? Have you got any more tours lined up after Australia?
No, it's only festivals, but we only do a few festivals this summer because we did a lot last year because that was right after the album release, so that worked fine,
Yeah, for
sure. So now I'm going to spend the summer writing for HYPOCRISY, some new stuff. I have 5 songs, but, it's not really, it doesn't feel 100%, so I need to write more and more and get into it a little bit more. So I might be writing 15 or 20 songs and only use 7, or it depends how much Michael is contributing to it, and Horg. It all depends. If I have to do it alone again, then it's not going to be so much variety. That's why HYPOCRISY was so unique in the 90s, because all 3 of us was writing all the time. Pretty much the same each.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
you get different. Yeah, you get different kind of feelings in the songs. They more variety.
Definitely. I can't wait for that album because you guys are pretty much the masters of melodic death metal. So looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the tour this month, which I'll definitely be at the Brisbane show, and I'll also take some photos. So we'll post you those on Facebook and Instagram if you want a copy.
Yeah, that's perfect. That sounds really good.
Yeah, cool, man.
I see you there then.
Yeah, I'll come shake your hand, maybe buy you a beer.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, I enjoy the rest of the interviews. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, you too. See you soon.
Right. Thanks very much, Peter. Bye.
Bye-bye.